خفرزة ديت مقروية طب ندخل
شناما نوخن أنا ونرجينا يومارا ببرمتد شوتاسة يالوبت أطوراية أريزونا وشوتاسة يالوبة نيشان إيدا وبتقرينا قاتوخن لشانة إنجلس. Our goal as the Assyrian Student Association of Arizona is to lead the effort to preserve Assyrian history and heritage through youth-focused programs that educate the next generation on the language, art, and practices of this ancient culture. هدية بالطبن حكمة من هالدامن قلبي البيمة ومقروي مملة يقرتها إنوما إلش ينادم حاقة البيمة إنوما إلى Social Director and Student Association أمرا خشيرة بسدانو بو أطرا.
Hi everyone, my name is Inoma Ilishunadam, and before I begin my performance, I would like to share a story. Earlier this year, I had the opportunity to visit our homeland with Gishru. I experienced an overwhelming sense of pride while in my homeland, Atra, Assyria, especially at the serene mountain sites. However, it was not only the beauty of the lands that captivated me. The passion of our people is what inspired me the most. I asked a local, "What do you like most about Iraq? Why do you like it here so much?" They said that this is our homeland, our Atra. In the same way, our martyrs made a sacrifice and died defending their nation. People of the homeland defend their homeland. I have written an interpretive poem. In this performance, I'm personifying the mountains to describe the pride and resilience of the Assyrian people. This poem describes the pride that I feel as an Assyrian. These are proud mountains. They are Assyrian mountains. Their presence is immense. Their presence is intense. They command your respect. Embedded deep into these mountains beats the resilient heart of Assyria. Despite the blistering rays of the Iraqi sun and the brick winter conditions, blizzard, snow, ice. Despite the bombs flying overhead and the constant battles of land and of people, the mountains remain resilient. The mountains do not yield. The mountains do not give in. There they stand, unwavering in their position. The mountains do not move. These are proud mountains. They are Assyrian mountains. Their presence is immense. Their presence is intense. The pride embedded into these mountains pours into our body and seeps deep into our hearts. The beating rhythms of the Dola drum, I stand with my chin held high up towards the sun. The fiery, fierce, piercing tune of the Zorna. The battle has just begun. The beating heart of the mountain bears in my chest. I am proud to be Assyrian. Say it with me now, the rest. Thank you. Thank you. We recognize and commemorate the sacrifices our martyrs made for our nation. We also remember the countless years of suffering our people have endured. The suffering persists to this day. Despite all the brutal suffering, we have persevered. And Assyrians have remained resilient for 6,764 years, and we will keep fighting for 6,764 years more. Thank you.
هدية بالطوبة من يقولها ماري يونان قبل أدينا. ماري إلى هدمها خدها Student Association. بتهمزمها بتأمن قيوتها ويتا لها هدمت Student Association.
How can I follow that up? What an amazing and beautiful poem. Mine is not as organized. I just wanted to speak a little bit from the heart with some notes. So, why did I get involved again? Some of you guys might recognize my face from before. I was involved in my youth. What got me now in my 20s to become interested again in, mixing with Assyrian culture? The Middle East is in turmoil still. We still are not safe. Looking at the news and seeing faces that look like your own and your families, going through the exact same thing again, as an adult, when you understand, changes you. And it makes you want to be involved with the people who you love. That being said, growing up also changed another thing in me. As a kid, you might not understand why your parents do or say what they do. As an adult, you understand how lucky you are to be a part of your family and to be a part of the Assyrian nation. While I'm on this platform, I just want to say thank you so much to Namir Yonan and Relia Yonan, my parents, for showing me what it is to be an Assyrian, to have the love, the courage, and the generosity of the Assyrians. Why did these martyrs die? To protect those values. And here we are, lucky and privileged to be in a country that will protect us. Because of them, because of their sacrifices, who are we to turn away from that? God bless the Assyrian nation. Thank you for all you've done. To the martyrs and to everyone who's come before me, for the love and generosity and courage that you've bestowed upon us. God bless. Thank you so much.
هدية بالطوبة من يقرأ دلن بيتيو كافة البينا. دلن إلى مشتعلانة اتيمبانا Student Association. بتهمزن باسط يا صورة بن أواها وبنونة وإن قيوتة شاركته وأمتن.
Sintarava Regina Shamarofa. I just wanted to speak today about youth involvement and knowledge in our nation. Since we live in a diaspora, it is very difficult to bring youth involvement into our nation, despite its importance. I want to talk about a couple of ways that us adults, parents, grandparents can possibly bring the learning, the knowledge of the Assyrian nation to our children. I'll step away from the speaker. To our children, so that we can bring more youth into these wonderful events so that they can learn more. first thing that I wanted to talk about is camps. Camps are a great way for kids to learn more about our nation and what we do, our history, and that sort of thing. ASA next year will be bringing back our camps, where we will go up to usually Prescott and learn about Assyrian history, Assyrian dancing, Assyrian culture, Assyrian language, and those sorts of things in a fun learning environment. We have to remember that the culture that we live in America is very geared around consumerism and hard work and our jobs and our schools. It's very based upon meeting the mark. So it's very difficult for people to find time to be with their families, let alone devote time to their nation. If they can see the fun and also the reason why it's important to stand for our nation, they will want to be more involved. Seeing as this is our situation, we can't expect them to be involved without enjoyment and fulfillment coming from it, because that's how they have been raised in our modern society, in our American society. So we have to teach them in a way that they will find it enjoyable and entertaining. Another small thing I wanted to talk about was our language. I've heard so many times from many people my age, younger, older, that when we try to speak our language, a lot of times people will make fun of us, older generation who have been able to speak it in their homeland for a long time from their youth in their homes. Sometimes when we mess up or we make mistakes, people will make fun of it or find it fun, which is perfectly fine, because sometimes it is pretty fun when someone cannot pronounce O or Fe. But we need to remember that if we want to preserve our language, we have to encourage its use, not discourage it. So that was just something that came from my heart that I wanted to mention. I think I pretty much covered what I wanted to speak about. I wanted it to be simple and from the heart as opposed to a speech. And thank you for hearing me.
ونقطيله دراراني بتخيم ونقطيله أقلاتي بتخيم من سبب نابس إلى أومندي بش إنقايا شاوب ناشا اتخيلو إن السهدة مقرولة ناباسة قا أمتن قبرتها اتخيا ميزلت سهدا بتآزا لقام شوخة ورمرامة وروخت سهدا نصيخة